Welcome to a new Halloween story. That's right. Yeah, welcome to a new Halloween story, and for this occasion, for this and today's is Halloween story is gonna be Girl in the Mask, and this ought to be interesting since I was scrolling through this Halloween story section to figure out the next just to figure out the next story until I came across this one, and I have no doubt, and I didn't think much of it, but decided to pick this one, and this is the story I'm gonna read to you guys today. And so, yeah, well, and so yeah, like I said, this story is called "Girl in the Mask," and all it just says and all it just says in the description is about a young girl who and all it just says in the description. It says a scary Halloween story about a young girl who asks her babysitter for ice cream. Okay, yeah, that's all it just says. That's all what this the description has to say about the story within. And I'm not sure the mask in the picture you see below right now. I'm not sure the if that mask is. I'm not sure if that mask is supposed to resemble the devil or anything, but this ought to be interesting. This ought to be an interesting story since it's from the Halloween story section. Yeah, I don't have I don't have any words to say to get this started with. So sit back, relax, my henchmen, and watch me let me get myself locked in as I read the story. Girl in the Mask. Just yeah, this is Girl in the Mask. Enjoy. All you guys can do is brace yourselves. There was a little girl named Holly who had just turned 6 years old. One Halloween night, her parents decided to celebrate their wedding anniversary by going out to a nice restaurant for dinner. Because it was Halloween, they had some trouble finding a babysitter for their daughter. Eventually, they called a teenage girl named Jessica who lived down the street and asked her if she could babysit for them. When Jessica arrived, the parents gave her their mobile phone number and told her to call them if there was an emergency. After they left, the babysitter fixed Holly some dinner and then sat down on the sofa to watch TV. When Holly finished eating, she asked, can I have some dessert?" "Okay," replied Jessica. "What would you like?" "Ice cream," said "Ice cream," said Holly, smiling from ear to ear. The babysitter got up and searched through the food. I can't find any ice cream here," she said. "It's in the freezer in the basement," said Holly. Jessica opened the basement door and flicked the light over, but the lights didn't turn on. She carefully made her way down the creaking steps into the basement. She eventually found the freezer and lifted the lid. As she took out a tub of vanilla ice cream, she happened to glance out the window. In the darkness, she saw a little girl with long blonde hair standing outside. The girl had a red t-shirt on and was sitting with her back to the window. Jessica couldn't see her face, but she noticed that the girl was wearing something black on her head. The babysitter didn't pay much attention. It was Halloween night and there were a lot of children wandering around the neighborhood. She made her way back upstairs, put some ice cream in a bowl, and placed it in front of Holly. The girl, the girl, the little girl made a face. Can I have some maybe called chocolate? Can I have some chocolate syrup on it?" She said. She asked. Okay, where is that? Where is that? Asked Jessica. In the basement, Holly replied. Jessica dutifully made her way back down into the darkened basement. As she was searching for the chocolate syrup, she glanced out the window again. The little girl was walking, still standing outside, but this time she was facing the window. Jessica saw that she was wearing an unusual mask. It was black with red trim, and the mouth was covered in large, sharp white teeth. It gave Jessica the creeps. The babysitter retrieved the chocolate syrup and walked back up the creaking stairs. In the kitchen, she poured the chocolate syrup on Holly's ice cream. Thanks, said Holly. Can I have some candy sprinkles on it too? The the girl sighed. Let me guess. They're in the basement? Yeah, giggled Holly. The babysitter headed back down the stairs into the darkened basement. As she as she rifled through the cabinets, she looked out the window and saw the same little girl in the mask standing outside. This time, the child was holding a large knife in her hand. The Jessica became very uneasy. She tried to rationalize it. Perhaps it was part of the little girl's costume. However, it seemed odd that a child's parents would allow her to go around at night armed with a knife. Sh that's just weird. That's just weird and unnecessary. Why would a parent why would they allow their children to wander around with a knife on their hands? That's pretty dangerous. That's dangerous for little kids to be playing with knives. Yeah, you know what they always say, kids to kids. Yeah, you know what they always say to you guys when you were kids. Yeah, to don't play with knives because you can cut yourself or worse. But who even like brings leaves their chalk who even like stores ice cream in the basement or chocolate syrup or sprinkles. Shouldn't the ice cream be on the fridge? I mean, I get that. I get that there isn't that the ice cream was not in the freezer, as that when Jessica was looking through the refrigerator just to look for the ice cream, it wasn't there until it. But it was, yeah. The I understand since Jessica's applied that the ice cream was not in the fridge, but it was in the basement. But the thing is, I don't know why is the chocolate syrup also in the basement and also the sprinkles too. Shouldn't they be in the placed in the counter, and that ice cream should always be on the freezer of the fridge. Anyways, okay, shuddering. Okay, shuddering. Jessica found the candy sprinkles and ran up the stairs, taking them two by two, anxiously to get out of the basement. Thank you, squealed Holly happily as the babysitter shook the candy sprinkles on her ice cream. All it needs now is a cherry on top. Jessica stared at Holly in irritation. Are you sure that's all it needs? This is the last time I'm going down into that basement. I promised, grinned Holly. The babysitter slowly descended into the darkness and opened the cabinet and found the cherries. Looking out the window, she noticed that there was no sign of the creepy little girl in the mask. Jessica breathed a sigh of relief. She was glad the girl was the girl was gone. The whole situation was beginning to freak her out. She picked up the package of cherries and climbed up the stairs for the last time. As she entered oh my god. Sorry guys. Sorry guys. I accidentally knocked out Sorry guys, I just knocked out my phone. Yeah. Anyways, where was I? Where was I? Okay, I know. Yeah, the whole situation was beginning to freak her out. She picked up the package of cherries and climbed up the stairs for the last time. As she entered the kitchen, she was greeted by a horrible sight. Holly laid face down in her pool. Holly laid face down in her bowl of ice cream. A pool of blood was spreading out around her on the table. Her little throat had been sliced open. Jessica screamed and dropped the cherries. She ran into the bathroom and locked the door behind her before dialing 911. She sat on the floor, tears streaming down her cheeks, desperately waiting for the police to arrive. After what seemed like an hour, she heard sirens outside and the sound of the front door being broken open. A policeman's voice called out to her and she unlocked the bathroom door. Police were searched the house, but there was no trace of any intruder. A few minutes later, Holly's mother and father arrived. They were horrified to see their young daughter's corpse being carried out on a stretcher. The father sat on the steps outside, his head cradled in his hands. The tearful mother approached Jessica. Her eyes were red from crying. What happened? What happened? Asked the mother. Oh God, I'm so sorry, said the babysitter, trembling with emotion. I was down in the basement. I looked out the window. There was a little girl in a mask. She had a knife. She was just standing there outside the basement window. She must have murdered Holly. But Jessica, that's impossible, said the mother. There aren't any windows in the basement, only a mirror. What? Wait, what? So, so the mother said that there aren't any windows in the basement when when the babysitter said when she saw the little girl in the mask holding a knife and was standing outside the basement window, the mother said that there aren't said that with a twist that there aren't any windows in the basement, only a mirror. What? What exactly does that mean? I mean, okay, I'm sorry. Hate to break it to you guys, but I'm like a little lost. Like what happened? Like, yeah, I'm a little lost at this story. I mean, like if there aren't any windows in the basement but a mirror, and the babysitter included that the that the girl in the mask holding the knife was standing in the basement window. What could that mean? Like what could possibly happen if happened to the girl in the mask standing outside the basement window if there aren't any windows in there but just a mirror? What's that mean? What's that mean? I don't know, but I don't know. I'm just gonna have to end the video here. Yeah, so that was this. So yeah, that was the story, Girl in the Mask. Let me know if you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sure that deep down you guys loved the video, loved the story, and all the other Halloween stories and other normal ones that I've read in the past. Please, for goodness sake, at least try to watch some of the stories I've read. Please, it would mean a lot. It would mean a lot to me if you guys can check out the Scary Story for Kids section playlist, the Scary for Kids playlist on my channel, and you'll see all the list of all the scary stories that I've read in the past. So please do it for me. I'll appreciate it. And and also I forgot to mention that I'll always be I'll always be copying and pasting the link of the website in the description below so that you guys can take a visit here at this website, Scary for Kids, whenever you guys have the time. But let me know if you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. Until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.